Moussa Dembele could be on his return to Glasgow, but, and there's a big but, are Celtic willing to fork out massive wages for a guy that's probably for some reason already past his peak despite being at 26? Or are they going to say no and keep on with the Kyogo hype train, baby?
Well, there is lots of things we have to factor in. A, does he want to go back to Scotland and play for Celtic? B, would Celtic want to have him back, and could they afford to pay him a wage that he would want after he's had stints in his career at Lyon and Atletico Madrid? And C, is this guy even an upgrade on Kyogo Furuhashi? Because if he's not, then I just do not see Celtic paying him the money that he would be requesting to be the second choice striker. So that's the questions, guys, that we need to ask, and you're here on Fog Football, so it's time to ask them.
Yep, and the question is, do Celtic need Moussa Dembele? Well, I look at Celtic and I feel like they need to improve. Oh, I don't think it's good enough, right? If Celtic are struggling in a Champions League game and they need to bring on a player to do something, I have no faith in it. I feel like Moussa Dembele, whether he starts over Kyogo or doesn't, has got the experience. I mean, look what he did against Man City. Overhead kicks and everything.
Well, that's irrelevant. He's not getting brought back to Celtic unless he's number one.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. That's why I said that's
him and Kyogo could they not do what they did back in the day? Free them up front. Sutton, Hartson and Larson. But in this case, it's Dembele and Kyogo.
Doesn't really fit Ange's style. I mean, you can play Kyogo out wide, but you're not getting the best of Kyogo if you play him out wide.
It's true. But I feel like Dembele, I think it would be a great move for Celtic. You know why? I mean, you let him go you let him go for big money, and you're getting him back on a free.
I wouldn't say it was big money, like.
Well, it was decent money.
No, it was, but at the time, I think you kind of thought you could maybe get more for him.
No, right, maybe, but I feel like this would be a good move, and I feel like Celtic need to take a step forward in Europe, and I feel like getting Dembele.
Hold on, why was there a need to say "I feel like" 4 times there in the space of 10 seconds? I think.
You know, I'm pumped about Celtic siding a fucking flop. How about that? Wasting money on a guy that's been done for a few years. I'm buzzing. I don't think Dembele's been that good recently, honestly. I feel like his best years did come at Celtic. And that's not me dissing the French league, right? But honestly, what have you seen Dembele do in recent years? I remember Lyon got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and I think he scored against City in the quarters, but that's about it, right? That's it.
How often do you watch the French league out of curiosity?
I'm not saying I watch the French league on a normal basis, but seeing you talk about the French league...
What's a normal basis?
Well, like,
every week, or?
Well, how often do you watch it?
I don't.
But seeing you think about the French league...
It's a shite league. I don't watch it.
It is... the French league gets a lot of...
No, the best thing about the French league is the kits. They have lots of sponsors on their kits, and I think the kits look decent. I think that's the best thing about the French league.
Alright, fair enough, but I think the French league... He's not exactly been ever high up on the scoring charts, has he? You look at other players, you see like Florian Balogun, he's on loan from Arsenal this season. He's up there, he's top goal scorer, him. Some youngster for Arsenal. Dembele, right? Is he? When have you noticed him?
So what you're saying is Dembele can't cut it at the top level, so he needs to go back to Celtic where he can cut it because Scottish football's pish. Basically, that's what we're getting at here.
Who says Scottish football's pish, mate?
All right, Scottish football's more Dembele's level than League One is.
Well,
is that what we're getting at?
There's more. There's one question here, right? Is Dembele good enough for Celtic, or would it be a step backwards? That's all you've got to answer here.
Be good enough for Celtic, but he would demand wages that I just don't think Celtic are comfortable paying, especially if he's not better than Kyogo.
Do you think he's better than Kyogo? Because I personally don't think so.
No, I'd probably pick Kyogo over him, like, especially with Ange's style. I think Kyogo. Now, who knows? Dembele could go back to Celtic, could rejuvenate his career, could kickstart his career, could find some form, and who knows? At his peak, is he better than Kyogo? I'd say it's pretty close, but I would give Kyogo the nod. I think. I don't know. I prefer Kyogo personally, and Celtic are just not going to pay big money for a guy to be number 2. No teams can afford to do this.
But what's crucial about that argument, though, they're two very different players. Dembele gives you a more physical game. I think Kyogo is the better goal scorer, but I think Dembele is more technically better. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. But for sure, he's better than O. But I feel like O's alright with being number 2, or else I don't think he would ever have went.
Well, it's not like he's going to be number 1 anytime.
I mean, he's better than... I say
okay
Dembele's better than Giamakis.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, I don't see this move happening.
Is he better than Edouard?
I think Edwards overrated personally. I do. I'm not saying he was awful because obviously he wasn't. I think he was a good player, but I feel like Dembele was a massive step above Edward.
Massive.
Yeah, massive. Like there's levels to this game.
And Dembele's levels above. Fair enough. Do I think he'll go back to Celtic? No. I think that ship is sailed.
Alright, so Dembele's not coming back. We made this video with the potential, but we know what, we'll put it up with a poll. Because we know this fan channel's got a lot of obsessed Celtic fans. Do you think Celtic fans would want Dembele back though?
In an ideal world, but they don't know how it works. They're just not signing this guy to be number 2. You're not spending the amount of wages in this guy for him to sit on the bench. It doesn't work that way.
What sort of wages are we looking at for Dembele? 50 grand a week?
Aye, something like that.
Around that ballpark. So there you have it, guys.
Celtic and Rangers do not pay 50 grand a week for somebody to sit on the bench.
To be fair, Matondo's on about 30 grand and he didn't get a sniff for about 6 months.
Well, that's Rangers fucking up, isn't it, really? At the end of the day.
Aaron Ramsey was on 400 grand a week just to blow a cup final.
Yeah, well, that's why he's probably arguably the worst signing in Rangers history. I would go as far as saying.
I would say so too. But anyway, guys, that's us done. Dembele's no coming back. And I don't know. If Ange wants him, I feel like it would be a good signing. Because Ange has not really signed too many jabronis at Celtic. So I think if Ange wants him, I think he knows what he's on about. But until next time, peace.